Hey, live?
Yes, yes.
Not live, is it?
Yes. Shh.
It's not like live, live.
Hush. 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 Hi. How are you?
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Welcome, everybody, to an impromptu episode of the Love Connect podcast. As you can see, I am joined by a special guest today, one of my friends, and we are going to just have a discussion that you rarely hear. Yes, particularly with men on podcasts and on the internet, etc., etc. We are going to talk about hurt, male hurt, being hurt, and how that presents itself through relationships with them, and also through their interactions with just everybody in their life. So, how are you?
I'm doing well today. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, Mister, what brings us here today? Why? Um, how do you describe hurt from a nails point of view, and what led us to this moment of you wanting to do this show today?
Well, I guess lately I've been doing things a lot differently. I definitely have had a change of a lot of things, and I had to really start being honest with everything. Um, and when I mean everything, I mean everything, including things like hurt, things that's hurt me recently, things that's hurt me in my past, and just trying to understand um, how to help that situation of hurt. You know, if that makes sense.
Let me ask you this. Um, when you look at the hurt that you've experienced as a man, does it go back to your childhood?
With me personally, a lot of it does. I don't think people really realize that a lot of things that happen to you as a kid, as a child, if you don't give it attention, if you don't heal it, it'll follow you through your entire adulthood. So a lot of things that you're going through as an adult, you're going through them because you never healed your child. And because you didn't heal your child, you're giving your adult problems. So that makes sense.
How has your um your pain, your hurt as a man, describe some of what that feels like, as a 48-year-old, and how that has affected a lot of aspects of your life.
Um, I guess like I said, it goes back to, just not dealing with certain issues. Just not being honest and open. I think when you speak your hurts, what I'm saying, it gives you, what I'm saying, some kind of a power. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of puts it out there. It kind of makes you deal with it. I never spoke on a lot of hurts coming up. I just kind of kept them to myself. And I
Yeah.
think as men, we're just not taught to express ourselves when it comes down to things like being hurt. Like I said, even from a child, you were taught to, be a big boy, be a man, what I'm saying, man up. You know what I'm saying? We were never really taught to really explore things that hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Get over it, what I'm saying, and move on. I'm saying? I think with women it's different. I'm saying? You guys are more in tune with your feelings. You're more in tune with your emotions. But as a man, we were told to somewhat suppress that and keep it moving and be strong for yourself as well as your family.
How has that suppression affected your adult romantic relationships with women?
Um, just not recognizing, like I say, certain things. Just not being in tune to myself, not being able to express when something does hurt me in a situation. With me, I'm not sure about a lot of other guys, but instead of me saying that I was hurt in a situation, I usually get angry. What I'm
Yep.
saying? That's the first emotion you see. And because of my childhood and some of the things I went through, I'm on you very fast. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, and then like I say, what happens is that causes a domino effect. I come at you aggressively and upset. You're trying to figure out what's going on, why I came at you that way, which in turns means that you're going to come at me, what I'm saying, aggressively and angry. You know what I'm saying? So it somewhat causes a domino effect, which could be solved if just I would be honest and upfront and say that, you know what, that statement you made kind of hurt my feelings. And usually 9 times out of 10, that person will realize, you know what I said, I didn't mean it that way. I wasn't intentionally trying to hurt your feelings. This was what I meant by that. But like I said, you never know that unless I'm up in front and honest about the way I feel, which is usually sometimes hurt.
How did you come to these conclusions? Because I've known you for a very long time and you've been very shut down emotionally, um, very shut down. So what event did something happen to kind of wake you up and make you become aware of the pain that you've been carrying, that's holding or has held you back from a lot of things that you wanted to create, do, and be in your life? How did we get to this moment? What was the event? What was the catalyst?
Well, I guess what happened was I had to realize, just looking around me, is that I was getting older. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I say I look at my parents, they are getting older. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be around here forever. And when you're younger, you live like you got 1,000 years to live when you don't. But
Yeah,
once you get older, you realize your time is getting shorter. You know what I'm saying? At my age, and like I said, the way things are going today, you just never know what tomorrow may bring. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really look at the ending to kind of understand more about life. So I had to look at death to understand life more. And
that's
once
deep.
once I start looking at me as a person, I had to ask myself some questions. You had to ask myself, since you've been here, what have you done? You know what I'm saying? What have you been successful at? What kind of relationship have you built? You know what I'm saying? At your final days, who's going to be with you? You know what I'm saying? I had to really be honest with myself and realize that because of the relationship that I've built, which is not many and not things that I've done, I could be alone. And that right there kind of woke me up and kind of gave me a little fear to realize that, okay, the way I've been living and things that I've been doing isn't necessarily right. But I had to take another step further and try to understand why I was doing some of the things I was doing and why I was acting the way I was acting to not create relationships, to not be successful. What was the problem? And I had to explore that. And with that exploring, I had to be very honest with myself, if that makes sense.
So what are some of the things you have done to kind of make a change in dealing with the pains of your childhood? Do you I mean, I don't want to get too personal, but is could you describe maybe something that maybe happened in your childhood? Was it school bullying, or was it I don't know, you wasn't come some people didn't come from an affectionate family. Do you know some of the things that happened in your childhood that's affecting you now?
Well, like some of the things you keyed on, like the affectionate family part. Some families are very affectionate. They were, taught to show emotions. They give out hugs. They express the fact that they love you. They say it often. But with my childhood, which I have no problem with my childhood, love was shown things like the saying of, you had a roof over your head, you had clothes on your back. You know what I'm saying? You had food on the table. That's how things were expressed. So I wasn't, you know, in that space of like most families are with the affection. And it affected me throughout my whole life, meaning that now that I'm older and I'm getting relationships because I'm not used to affection, I don't give it. And even when it happens, it's hard for me to receive it because I'm not used to getting it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when you're going through things as a child, it really does impact your adulthood. And a lot of people aren't aware of that. A lot of people are not aware that what's really holding them back.
Yeah.
And I had to really be honest and really ask some of the tough questions to myself. Okay, why are you this way? You know what I'm saying? Because the person that the world has seen for 48 years isn't the person that I am. And now that I'm aware of some of the things that I've been doing and aware that I have the ability to change those things, you know what I'm saying? A new world has opened up for me.
Oh, that's deep. In what way? Explain that. What do you mean a new world has opened up to you?
Meaning that, like I said, a lot of things that I was fearful of, a lot of things that I was, not getting, just a lot of things that I was doing incorrectly. A lot of times I did things and I didn't really care about the outcome or what it did or how it affected people. I just didn't. You know what I'm saying? And I talked of a lot of my ways as me just being me, but it wasn't the case. I have a lot of insecurities. I have a lot of hangups, especially when it comes to people. For some reason, I'm just very uncomfortable around people. And when people get around me, they can feel that energy. You know,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that I had to kind of try to understand. Okay, why am I so uncomfortable around people? Why am I getting this feeling like I'm about to jump out of my skin? And
Yeah.
basically, anxiety, you know what I'm saying? And just, the fear from childhood, you know what I'm saying? Understand, I wasn't always the coolest kid coming up as a child. I did get picked on, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And that right there, because I never recognized it, I never spoke it, you know what I'm saying? I never said anything about it. I never really healed it. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody comes at me now wrong, I'm on you pretty fast. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't heal that childhood pain and it followed me throughout my adulthood. But now that I'm older, I can actually say, you know what? I got picked on. That affected me. You know what I'm saying? And it's followed me and made me make some of the choices that I've made even as an adult. Like I said, a lot
Yeah.
of people don't realize that if you don't get to the root problem, it's always going to be a problem because you're just dealing with the surface problem versus the real problem.
This happens a lot, and this is one of the biggest qualms that black women have with black men. It's y'all don't really not only do you not deal with the pain that you're carrying from childhood, fatherlessness, abandonment, neglect, all of these things that many of us went through. Um, y'all don't even acknowledge it. Y'all don't even like to acknowledge it for whatever reason. And I know it's probably hard because men are raised, really not to express feelings. So what would you say to other men who want to make a change, to want to get to a better place, who want to deal with their hurts and pains? What would you say to them, being that you're in a place of dealing with your own pain and trying to heal and get help so that you can create the life that you want to see show up?
Well, I think, the first step is recognizing that you do have a problem. A lot of people don't understand that, what I'm saying, there is an underlying problem that you just haven't dealt with. You know,
Yeah.
the first step to me is recognizing that you have a problem. The second step is wanting to make a change. And that was me. For a long time, I just didn't care about making a change. I was who I was. And if you didn't like it, you just didn't like it. But that just wasn't fair because I wanted people to be there for me in my roughest times. You know what I'm saying? Also in my best times. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't that same person and giving them the same kind of energy that it was giving me. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, first thing is recognizing this. First thing is, like I say, it's has to be within you of the change. If you don't want to make the change will never happen. If somebody else wants to change for you, it'll never happen. And once you start wanting to make a change and start wanting to explore why you do the things that you do, that's when the change starts to happen. That's when you start dealing with things like hurt. You know what I'm saying? Admitting the fact that you were even hurt. Because a lot of people sweep it on the rug and don't even admit the fact that they were. But once you start admitting to it, you begin to release some of that pain, some of that years of baggage that you've been carrying around because you could never say, I'm hurt, or you hurt me. If that makes sense.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yes, ma'am.
Have I ever did anything to hurt you? Honestly.
Um, maybe a few things here and there. But for the most part, no. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, usually I was the corporate when it came to me and you, but yeah, there were a few things.
You're so silly.
Well, it's a few things that kind of rattled me. Saying, but like I said, the way I was in the space that I was in back then, I couldn't ask for any more than what I was given. So understand that, and I don't want to bring religion into this, but I was in some dark places at points in my life, and if it wasn't for God watching over me and making sure that I was good, I wouldn't be around. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
real.
Really trying to destroy myself on a major level because I couldn't understand where the hurt and pain was from. Why was I so miserable? Why didn't I like my life? What was I doing wrong? And what I was doing wrong, I wasn't living my purpose. I was just somewhat just kind of out there existing, living day to day, helping somebody else's dream come true versus helping my own dream come true. If that makes
Absolutely. I think a lot of men feel this way, but they don't really know what to do about it, how to fix it, or where to go. I think a lot of the lashing out I see men doing online towards women, it's not even the women that I think these men are really nan at, but there's nobody else to really take it out on, because if they try to take it out on the other men, that could be deadly. You can't take it out on another race of men because they run and control everything. That could end bad. So I think a lot of men take out these same frustrations that you're talking about on the very women that try to love them, instead of, like Otto said in the chat, seeking some sort of therapy. I think the collective of males in our community needs some really deep therapy, because it's constantly been passed down trauma, just passed down unhealed trauma from generation to generation. And I don't know if that's something most men are willing to do. What do you think about therapy?
I think it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Understand therapists are trained to give you the tools and resources you need to help yourself. You know,
Yeah.
as kids, it was somewhat I don't want to say a badge of dishonor, but you getting therapy, then you must be sort of cuckoo. You know what I'm saying? When I was coming up,
Yeah.
but we didn't realize even as kids, if you can start getting therapy as a kid when there's problems, it will help you throughout your entire childhood as well as your adulthood. But because we're not seeking it or we don't even recognize that it is a problem, look, toughen up, be a man. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're told. You know what I'm saying? Move on with it. You know what I'm saying? Other than other people's, I feel the other races are saying, you know what? You know what I'm saying? If I can't help you as a parent, I'm gonna get you somewhere where you can get some help. Because sometimes
Yeah.
that's around you can't help you because they're too close to you. So you need a person with a new perspective to come in and look at what you're going through and who has the training and tools to give you and the education to give you, to help you out. So, if we could have been getting therapy a long time ago, we could have broke some of these generational curses. But because we're not aware of it and we don't look at it as actually helping us long term, we don't seek it. And
Absolutely.
our parents don't instill it in us as well, saying that you may need some outside help.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. How are you feeling now? How are you feeling these days? Have come into the awareness, having come into this consciousness, as you see it here today, how are you feeling now?
I guess with me, when you're coming up, you're so interested in money. But once you get to my age, it's more so about the time. You know what I'm saying? So I want to reinvent myself or be the person who I really am versus the person who I've shown you guys for so long. Nobody really knows the real me. Nobody has really heard me talk this much. You know what I'm saying? Because I always felt
I have.
you have, you know what I'm saying? Because but the average person doesn't hear me talk a whole lot. Most people don't even recognize my voice because I never say anything. You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm aware and I'm awake and I want to make the changes for myself, you know what I'm saying? That's when the magic happens. Understand, I've wasted about 30 good years. I've wasted some of my good, vibrant young years when you can actually get out and do things. Understand, I'm getting older now. It's going to come a time when my body's not the same. My mind is not as sharp. You know what I'm saying? But while I'm here still, I'm going to try to make a difference. I've been a taker my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Now I want to be on a mission to give back, to make a difference in other people's lives. The thing about it, a lot of times people understand that if you help somebody else, you're not so focused on your own problems.
Yeah.
You go out there and you see people that's really in trouble, that really has issues, and you look at your little petty stuff, you realize, what am I complaining about? I'm
Yeah.
good. You know what I'm saying? People would love to have the lifestyle that I live. You know what I'm saying? So, people like me who complains and bitches and moaning, there's nothing to bitch and moan about because there's people like that who really has problems. So now
That's right.
I'm aware and I'm awake. First of all, I have to really heal myself. Before I can go out there and do other things, I got to heal me. I got
Yeah.
to figure out my own issues, solve those things, come to a clean state, and then help the world out one by one if necessary.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. I believe this is your calling, to help other men see this in themselves and guide them out of this rut. Um, Basically to the light, because a lot of men are stuck. A lot of men are stuck, and the only thing they know to do is to blame women, and they don't want to go to God, because I don't even know if a lot of men really believe in God. You don't go to God, you don't talk about it, you don't let it out. It's just easier to take it out on women. That's why this is where a lot of domestic abuse come from. The frustration that's built up in a lot of men, they don't know what to do with it, so it comes out on us. You can see that online. It's actually very sad, because these are the very women, we're the very women that have been down for you and on your team now for decades, trying. Black women want to see black men be better and do better. Black women want to see black men healed, but you cannot heal what you don't acknowledge. So my question to you is, what advice um, would you give um, women, who may be dealing with a man who shut down, closed off, and she just can't seem to break through to him? Is there some advice you can give us women of how to deal with a man who's kind of in the same situation that you're speaking of you were in?
Well, I think that, one thing women have to understand is that it's not making excuses for black men or men in general, because my life is one big regrets with a side order of excuses. But um,
Yeah.
understand that it's a generational curse. And what I mean by that is if we grew up seeing women being respected, especially black women being respected, I think we would have followed suit. But what we saw as kids, I feel as though was a lot of disrespect even back then.
Oh, that's
So
deep.
it's what we see, and it's all basically that we know. You know what I'm saying? If there's no one else to guide us, to show us the right way, and all we see is disrespect, then we're going to have a life of disrespect. Because, like I said, that's all we know. It's within us. It's what our fathers did, it's what their fathers did. Someone has to say, you know what? Enough is enough. It's time to break this generational curse. Let's get together as men. And I think that's the problem, too, that we do. We try to go outside of us to try to fix us. You know what I'm saying? And I think the only person that really can fix us is us. You know what I'm saying? And the first step, like I said, is recognizing that we're not doing things the way things need to be done. We're not holding up our end of the bargain when it comes to being a male. Now, like I said, I can't speak for every male. I can't speak for the black race. I can just kind of what I've done and what I've gone. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of
Yeah.
things women are saying, I'm the poster child for it. You know what I'm saying? So with me making my changes and me being aware that I need to make changes, that's what I'll start. So my thing is with black men, we got to first understand that there is a problem because a lot of us don't even recognize and see that there is a problem. I didn't realize what black women were saying about us until I actually came on a show and talked to black women and really realized how they felt about black men as a whole. It was hurtful to know how y'all felt, the things that y'all were saying, and how strongly you felt about this. I mean, y'all were to the point to where y'all were saying, you know what, we're done.
Yes.
Figure it out on your own. We're
Yes.
not putting up with this anymore, and that's really hard for us because, like I said, behind every successful, strong black man, usually you'll find a black woman in the background somewhere. You know, what I'm saying, giving him that encouragement and love that he needs to get to the next step. Not
Absolutely.
have that, or she should. That's her. She has to have to do that. But it's good for us to have that because, like I said, you know, it's nothing better and more beautiful than a strong black woman.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. We're gonna do Wednesday. Our show is me and Vanita's show Wednesday is on accountability for men. And I would love for you to come on and share some of the sentiments with our Wednesday audience. It'd be more people on the show. Share this on Wednesday because I think this is it's so rare that a man can open up in this way. It's usually no, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. Black women, y'all did it. Black women. It's very rare that I see a black man take complete accountability, for everything that has been done, he has done to others, etc., etc. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you for this. I really do. So I would love to have you on. You too, Otto, if you're listening. See if Anita can uh you can come on with us on Wednesday if you don't have nothing to do. But I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on and I appreciate you having this discussion with me this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I know this wasn't an impromptu show. That my good friend wanted to come on and talk about it, and I think this was an important conversation because it's such a rare conversation in our community. To hear men actually talk about accountability and how their pain has caused pain of others and pain of people around them. So I thank you for that. So I hope you all have a good rest of your Sunday afternoon. And Vanita and I will be back on Wednesday at 7:30 for the Accountability for Men show. I hope my friend can join us along with other people. And we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna get a little bit more deeper. Um, like we did last week for the accountability for women. So we're going to talk about the accountability for men. So I hope you all can join us. And once again, thank you for coming on this afternoon. And I hope everybody has a good rest of their Sunday. Take care.
Wait.
Oh, you want to say something else?
No, I just want to say, you know, I'm
Hold
a
on. Hold on. I'll come back on. Hold on. What you want to say?
No problem. I just want to say that I'm a really big fan of the show. I've seen it grow. I've seen you ladies really come into your own. I really think that you got some really big things coming in the future. I think if you just stay humble and stay focused and continue your journey, I think you're going to start getting million views. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm a really big fan. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the consistency. I really enjoy what I'm saying, trying to get to the root cause of problems. So I want you ladies to continue doing what you're doing as hosts, as strong black women, and you definitely do have our support, behind you. So thank you very much for what you do and continue.
Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. Take care. See you on Wednesday at 7.